Good morning and welcome to What's New with Mike and Jeff, your Saturday morning hobby hangout coming to you live via the interwebs. I'm your host, Mike, and with me is Mike or Bob Ross, however you want to look at that. Jeff is not going to be with us today, so you just have my mustache. So I'll be finishing out Orctober with everybody. And yeah, that's what's kind of going on. So, Jeff actually has got some really good stuff taking place today at home. I don't want to be the one to share what's going on, but it is all good stuff. So, when he joins us again, he will be able to share with us. But um, we will find out on Wednesday's show. Good morning, Adam. How are you, buddy? We'll find out about Wednesday's show about what's going on and all the good stuff taking place. I'm just looking at my hair on my computer screen, and that is about as much as I got going on. So we're gonna wrap up. Is yes, one is, but I have you guys joining me in the audience, so I don't feel alone at all. I feel very comfortable. Um, Speaking to the screen and reading your comments. As you all know, I went out on Thursday, had my eyes looked at because it is apparent that my eyesight is going badly. Just checking in, going back to bed. Come on, Joe. Don't go back to bed. Hang out with me. Good morning, Lenny. How are you? So yes, on Thursday I had my eyes checked out. Everything is going good with my eyes. As far as like all the things doctors look at for eyes, I don't understand everything that the doctor shared with me. But bottom line is that I just need a stronger pair of readers, glasses, but I do not need a prescription, and I don't need to wear glasses on a regular basis. I'm just at that stage. I'm 51 years old, so I'm at that stage now where, I guess the basic terms, I guess my lens that focuses from distance to close is not able to contract and focus anymore as quickly as it used to be. I'm not 20. So if I sat there and I looked at the letters that I was required to look at, if I sat there long enough and looked at them, eventually they started to come into focus and I got better. So because my lens was able to, it was slowly focusing in, but I couldn't do it quickly. So that's kind of what I have going on with that. Yes, at the stage where you're getting old, I am. Readers are just the first step. You're absolutely correct. Readers are the first step. Second step, just get surgery, not worry about it. You're lucky I've been wearing glasses since I was 14 and now have a separate pair. Oh boy, or bifocals, but I refuse. Yeah, my wife has bifocals and she hates them. She says they're the worst thing ever. You're doing all kinds of weird adjusting, looking, trying to adjust, and she says it's just weird. You've been wearing glasses since getting, ooh, okay, that's a long time. So, but everyone's eyesights are a little different. I was fortunate throughout my youth to not have to wear glasses. Been glasses since 4. But Joe, you look good with glasses, man, and I can't see you without glasses. Like Lenny, I've seen you without glasses on a regular basis. But Joe, I've never seen you without glasses. And Raymond, I've only hung out with you a few times, but yes, glasses kind of are, you're always wearing them. So, and it is, some people just, you kind of just get used to. I've always known somebody wearing glasses. So at this point, my eyes can't focus anything further than 6. And oh, yeah, that's so and again, I don't know if that means you're nearsighted or farsighted. I guess that would mean you're nearsighted. Oh, you wear contacts most of the time. See, there you go. Anyways, but that's where I'm at. So I got a new pair of glasses coming, and since like when I was wearing these last time, and I guess it was 2015 since my last eye exam, because of the glare, these are not good to wear streaming. So I spent the extra $85 and got the glare resistant, glare blah 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 stuff from the glasses, and that way I don't have that reflection on the screen and for streaming. So I got them simply for streaming. Go figure. And so I can wear them while I'm painting. I got it just for my painting hobby, so I don't have to wear my big magnifier glasses. I can just put on my readers and do everything just fine. So, but the cool thing, and this is more of storytelling. The cool thing is, so I get in, I see the first person who runs me through all the tests. Then the doctor comes in and she looks at my lenses and my nerves, and she's looking at my blood flow. She says everything's good, blah blah blah. Do all that, and then I go out to the counter, to the showroom, I guess is the best way to say it. Don't wear, keep them, or well, so don't keep them near heat. So that mean I can't wear them outside in the summertime? Just joking. Yes, they warned me about not using my blowtorch and wearing my glasses, um, which might be a problem for me, as you guys know how much I love my blowtorch. But anyway, so I'm talking to the lady that's helping me pick up my frames. So we're talking about, first thing I bring up is, yeah, when I wear my glasses, I get a glare on my, when I'm streaming. Standard conversation stuff, like I want something with a lot of glare protection, so I don't get the lights don't glare onto my stream. And just being polite, oh, what do you stream? Small talk. And I paint little miniatures, models and stuff like that. And immediately our whole conversation shifted from glasses to, oh my god, you paint like that Warhammer stuff? And I'm yeah, I paint Warhammer stuff. I worked outside, and being outside, the film started to peel off, and it was, ugh. Okay, so I will take that under advisement. I didn't think about outside because I'm outside all the time. So, but again, I'm readers. So what I do outside, I don't have to read. Good thing my job doesn't require me to do much reading. But anyway, so we start chatting, and she was familiar with Warhammer 40K and painting videos, and mentioned that she has a card game she plays. I forget the name of the card game. It's based off a video game. And the card game had released miniatures, and she really wanted to paint the miniatures. And obviously, me, once I start talking hobby, I went down the rabbit hole, and we just started talking, and I'm sharing to her about the stream, and I'm pulling out my phone and I'm showing pictures, and I showed her my Stampa because that's the only picture I had on my phone at the time. So it was just kind of a neat, just running into I'm going to say random citizen who had understood my hobby, which I'm sure some of you have probably had the awkward conversation talking to strangers about your hobby and how you paint up little miniatures and you put them on the table and you go pew 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 pew. So anyways, it was just a neat little story. So I gave her all the information about IOG, our show and everything. So hopefully she joins, because the one thing that I promote when I talk about what Jeff and I have created here with the help of everybody here is our community. We share the nuts and bolts before we start talking about technical stuff. So we don't just go, yes, now just glaze over the model and do that. And she kind of reinforced that what we're doing is the right thing, because she goes, yeah, she watched some of the videos and people are talking about all these techniques and she has no clue what they're talking about. So that's what I like about what Jeff and I do with the streaming, and people can ask us questions and we can stop what we're doing and we can go over the nuts and bolts to build them up to the technical stuff that they're trying to accomplish, which if it's wet blending, glazing, dry brushing, washing, painting, layering, all that different stuff. And so it was just a neat conversation. So it was just fun. And it's just neat when you run into people in the wild that have, an interest in what you're doing, and you can have, really good conversations with someone. Eventually we got back to talking about my glasses and got me set up with some new glasses, but it was a fun little conversation, and I felt good about it because I do feel that what Jeff and I have created is something that is needed in the community. Just hanging out, hobbying with people, and helping them grow and try new things and get what's our number one thing, getting out of our comfort zone, which is always something that we should strive to do, to be to do our best, and just to try to new things. Outside of that, I did get a game in yesterday, which was a lot of fun. Tim and I hooked up, and we. All right, so gaming in general, there's a lot of games on the market that people have played or can play. Miniatures game, board games, role playing games, you name the game. There's lots of games on the market. One of Tim and I's favorite game of all times, and there used to be a thriving community in the city, in our state for this game, was Lord of the Rings. GW's famous Lord of the Rings rule system. To be honest, I still think it's probably one of the best rule systems Games Workshops ever put out, next to Epic. But it's a really good rule system. And over the years, they've changed the rules, and the rules, the newer rules, I'm not that excited about, because I don't know. I think I got to buy like 15 different books. It's just, you're just buying books, and I'm just not a big fan of buying books. I like buying models. I like buying paints. I like buying paintbrushes. I like building models and painting models. I don't like buying books to get 3 or 4 pages of rules for new characters that are coming out or things of that nature. I'm not a big fan of that new marketing that GW has started to do. So we pulled out the old rules that we used to play. And we played a 350 point game. We did a Halloween themed game. So we did orcs. We did evil armies. Evil armies. So we did evil armies. I played my Uruk-hai orcs. He played his Mordor orcs. And we clashed on the battle at 350 points, which was a beautiful game. No crazy heroes, no crazy monsters, just orc on orc love. Greenskins beating up greenskins. Of course, in the token world, they're more burnt umber skin. We don't have green skins in the orc world so much, but it was just a fun game, and it actually rekindled my excitement about Lord of the Rings, how much I missed that game. And it's interesting, the game still held up even with all the changes that they've made to the rules. Going back to the original rules, the rules still held up, and it still felt like a fun game to play. And if you haven't played the original Lord of the Rings rules, which is the Legions of Middle Earth book, it is a great set of rules. Yes, it takes time. Yes, you're looking at charts. I get it. I understand this new game mechanics, the modern game mechanics that people love to brag about so much, is rules are quick and easy, fun, but hard to master. Blah, whatever. We just played a fun game, and yes, it took us some time, but we still had a good time doing it. And that is something that I enjoyed. So I'm actually toying around with the idea of pulling out all my old stuff and maybe painting up a new army for Lord of the Rings. We will see. Maybe it's something I do next year. Good morning, David. How are you, buddy? But for today, I want to go ahead and get moving along, because I still have my orc trike that I want to kind of finish up. What I want to do is just get some details finished up on it and get some washes on it, and get it to that the next phase, which would be the dry brushing and highlighting phase. Played a full game of Kill Team last night with all the campaign stuff. It's really fantastic. Awesome. And I know, Joe, you're going to start a Kill Team, I'm assuming a league, on Wednesday nights, because you said you were no longer going to be able to join us on Wednesday nights. So good luck to you with the Kill Team League. The campaign stuff, it sounds like it's going to be a good time. Unfortunately, it's on Wednesday nights, so I'm a little pre-booked on Wednesday nights, and I haven't even played the new Kill Team, so one of these days I'll crack that open and take a look at it. But my game time is very narrow anymore. I have a very small window to play games, not league, casual play. Okay, casual play, perfect. That's even better. But I have a very small window when I can actually get away from the house and play games. So it has created a little bit of a hiccup in my world. And Joe, speaking of, I actually, I don't know if you remember I think you knew him as well back in the day, John Pollack, from IOG. Good friend of mine. I used to role play game with him. We used to do Warhammer Fantasy back in the day, the old 2nd edition Warhammer Fantasy role playing game. But I used to hang out with him. You do remember him. he actually has a YouTube channel, and he's actually been doing a lot on YouTube and has quite a good following. And if any of you are interested, his name's John Pollock, and he has a YouTube channel called Mr. Mean Speaks. Um, if you know John, he's a lot like Jeff and I. Um, kind of blunt and to the point. No real soft fluffiness about him. If it's no, it's no, and that's the end of it. He's just kind of like Mr. Mean Speaks, not speeds, speaks. Did I say speed? I'm sorry. Yeah, but it's Mr. Mr. Mean Speaks, and that's been his tagline for ever. But he does a lot of no comment. He does a lot of RPG stuff and reviews RPG games and talks to developers. Just appreciate it, David. Go check him out if you're interested. But it's just nice to see. Um, it happens sometimes. My mustache muffles my words sometimes. But it's just nice to see, someone you used to know who's kind of grown in and has advanced, in the hobby, and he's doing some cool stuff. But it's just a nice review channel, and he does some live plays and stuff like that. So if you're interested in RPGs, or if you're interested in any kind of review channels of all the crazy art, and there's so much RPG stuff out there on the market, different game systems, and he's just in a position in his life now where he can afford to go out and buy these products, give them an honest review, share his thoughts about all the different concepts, and it's just awesome. Yes, David, Orctober has been very productive for you. So if you haven't seen on Discord, I don't have access to photos, guys. Sorry, I don't have the multiple screens and all that. I'm on like one small screen on my computer. Um, David has pretty much assembled 2 full armies and is uh, he's assembled 2 full armies, and now he's going through the process of getting them painted. And he's done all this using his Underworlds bands, which, again, another great mechanical tool or purchasing tool, where if you're really into Underworlds and buying all the little war bands, and then you just buy a few other little things, you can put together a small army of whatever faction you're playing. And orcs were the one faction that had a couple different teams or bands for Underworlds, where you could combine them and make up an army. So yeah, and David, don't feel pressured, man. Just start getting them primed, getting some washes on them, and just taking your time. Maybe just working on a unit at a time, like 5 models, and just paint up the 5 models, and then just move on from there. Stormcast, no, just spray paint them all gold, give them a brown wash, and you're pretty much done. Because it's Stormcast, they're pretty much all gold. But yeah, just take your time, man. You'll get it done, and as you get some more games in and get some more playtime in, you will be able to figure out exactly how you want your list to look. And I think that's the joy of painting a big army project. Is it's a passion, it's a labor of love and wanting to work on that and dedicating your time, because you've got work, school, life, family stuff. So your painting time might be limited to just streaming like we're doing now, and you might only get that couple hours a week to paint. But if you just make a little bit of progress each week, I think you'll be fine. Thinking about doing an alternative color scheme for the Stormcast. Oh, there you go. It is metal armor, so you could go a lot of different directions. Rusty and crusty is always cool, but you could do like I did with my Necrons, where you base coat them with like a rusty reddish color, and then put the chipping fluid on them, and then you could do like a brighter color over it, like a white or a red or blue or green, whatever, and then you could chip them all up and make it look like old rusty kind of armor. So yeah, play around with it. Throw some samples up on Discord. We'll take a look at it. We'll give you some feedback. But you want to pick something, when you start looking at different painting themes, you want to look at, okay, how hard is this to paint, and do I want to paint 50 models this way, or yes, this works. This is a nice, easy process of a base coat, a wash, and some dry brushing. And I like how the colors work together and move along from there. So either way, but yeah, throw some stuff up. We'll be more than happy to take a look at it. But speaking of painting, thank you for changing the subject, David. I'm going to go ahead and get my camera switched so that we can get to work on our last Orctober. I did not adjust my my mat. That happens. This is Lenny riding in on his trike. So also, I've been working on my car for 1/32 scale Gasland. So next month, Tim and I are challenging each other to build. We're both going to take the same car next month, which is the Dom Charger, and we're both going to convert them up and chop them up, and it's just going to be a little personal thing that him and I are going to do. But this is where I'm at with my current project for this truck, and I've got the base and the interior done, so that can just slip on. Got my gun mounted. I got my screen mesh in the windows that I wanted to do. These are 1/35th scale gas tanks that I got from a Tamiya kit. So I just made them, put them in the back. It's just something to take up space in the back of the model because I'm not going to put any big guns and I don't want to put a lot of debris back there. I also have some shovels and things like that that I'll probably throw in there. And then I also have a 55-gallon drum. The idea of the 55-gallon drum is it can be considered an oil slick, like it's, someone comes back here and opens up the tailgate and drops the oil out, something like that. Or it could be a form of extra armor in the rear, like whoever owned the truck found a 55-gallon drum, filled it up with rocks and sand and all kinds of stuff, and just strapped it into the back. So this way, if people are shooting them from behind, it's hitting the drum and not going into the car. Be creative, have some fun. Up front here, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a tube going across with a piece of like flat plastic card to make it look like a piece of metal just strapped to the front of it. It could be a ram or extra armor as well. So this is like my as I coined earlier, pre-post apocalyptic Gaslands where like people are still somewhat human, making very small modifications to their vehicles so that they can survive in this world. Think about it. The government is collapsing around them and people are just like scurrying around trying to survive. So we're not doing like really crazy, 125 millimeter cannons on the back of cars and things like that. This is just, some light guns, some things like that, just to have a little bit of fun. But I'm getting along. So this is just, this is what we want to create for conventions, for people to, as they're walking by at the convention or at the store and we're demoing the game, people see it from a distance and it's more eye-catching on the table. That's all. That's all I'm trying to create. I'm not going to build 100 cars. I'm going to build like 3 cars and that's it. Tim's going to build a few cars and that's it. And we're going to be good to go. All right. So I left off with the checkering. I actually went through after the show last week and I took one of my Sharpie pens. These are just the fine tip Sharpie pens. And I kind of cleaned up the black lines a little bit. So they made them a little bit more square, almost a little bit more uniformed. But obviously the checkers themselves are all out of proportion. And that was, what you want to do for orc checkering because we're not perfect. And then I clear coated it because once I'm done with the pen is not it's not going to be permanent. So I clear coated it to lock it into place. So, but if you're ever wanting, you can do these, you can use the micro pens. There's a lot of different pens out there these days, these fine tipped type pens, as you can see. And they work good. And I have a white gel pen. I don't know if you guys have ever played with gel pens or not. but I have a jelly roll number 5. Anyways, this is a white gel pen, and gel pens are used, believe it or not, used a lot in scale modeling for doing very small details like dashboards and things like that. Getting all the little buttons on a dashboard or something like that. Anyways, went in and I just kind of touched base on all of the white checkers to just kind of clean them up a little bit and make them look a little bit more, I don't know, checkery. So what we're gonna do today is we got to paint the helmet. So I gotta come to a conclusion on what I am going to do with the helmet. I'm thinking I'm just gonna go with black because I think it will work good with the model. So I'm just going to do a black helmet because then I'll do the strap in a brown, and then it's got the goggles on. All of that is going to be very complicated to get painted simply because the head's already on the model and it's going to be a lot of work. So we're just going to get a base of black down on that and we should be good. And then from there, I want to start, there's this little detail things. Then I got to start washing it and getting like my rust wash on it and the black wash on the engine and the metal parts and all of that kind of stuff, and just start moving. That's all it is moving in the right direction. So I finally finished watching Dune. I must say, it was a really good movie to watch. Very, visual, as I think we've all commented on. It's visually a very nice movie to watch. They did a great job with everything. I really like I don't know what they were called. I forget. They look like little grasshopper helicopters. I thought those were really cool. I hope they make a model of those, like a scale model, because I would really like to build one of those. I just think that would be just a fun little project, just kind of like doing the Razor Crest when that finally makes it to store shelves. Now, Jeff mentioned that there's one already out, but it's the one where the plastic is already chromed. And as you guys know, I know how to remove the chrome from a plastic model. We all do. Purple power. We can remove all the chrome and it would be easy to paint it, but I'm kind of waiting for I'm hoping the actual model version that they're going to do is going to have a little bit more detail to it and just be a bit of a better model. So I'm waiting. I know the Mandalorian model itself, Andy over at Andy's Hobby headquarters posted that they have that model in. It's like the Bandai character model. Not really interested in that, but I may go, I don't know, I might pick one up. Could be a fun little side project. Yeah, I think black's the way to go for this helmet. Because he's got the spikes, which I'll paint silver. And he's got this strap, which I'll probably paint silver as well to make it look like it's strapped in. So I think we'll be good. Lenny, I don't know if you're still watching or not, buddy. Are you guys streaming tonight? I tuned in a little bit last Saturday, but I couldn't stay for the whole episode. But I, doing what I can to support you. But if you guys are streaming tonight, I might have some time this evening. I don't think we're doing like today at home. It's strictly we're sitting around the house pretty much all day doing nothing but hobbying. We're actually having a hobby day at home. I don't know if any of you guys do this. Don't know how many of you, your significant others, have hobbies. I know like Lenny and his wife both paint. But if you have like common interests, we're just going to spend the day at home enjoying our hobby. I think we're going to probably just go out to lunch today. And I think my wife needs more rubber gloves, so we might make a run over to Harbor Freight to pick up a box of rubber gloves because she does epoxy coating on cups. So she does these really cool, glitter epoxy coating on cups and pours the epoxy on. It's really kind of a neat thing. And she needs the gloves when she does that. Sorry, I was at a don't breathe moment of painting. So, but let me know. I didn't see any posts from you this week as far as if you were going to be streaming tonight. So I'll check later. Do, 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 do. Actually thinking about stealing Lenny's studio's name. His studio, his YouTube channel is Black Acid Studios. Thinking about stealing that name for NPC character for RPGing called the Black Acid Queen, and make a little scenario around it. And kind of my concept is, kind of a psychedelic uh, game character where she's basically giving giving her warriors psychedelics, and they go out and do her bidding for her. And the idea would be to dive through a dungeon and take out the Black Acid Queen. So just something I was toying around with when I was reading some fluff on some games and stuff. All right. I think I might drill out the exhaust ports for this model just to make it a little bit better. Then I'm going to dab a little black in the holes for the exhaust. This is the beauty of acrylic paints is, you dab it in, you get a little on the X, and you just wipe it off. Especially with going over silver, because I'm going to black wash it anyways, and I know the black wash is going to go in the holes as well. But just a little dab of paint before the black wash will just make it so much better, so much nicer. So, anywho. All right. So with the black helmet, I think the model looks a lot better. It just helps. It kind of ties everything together. We got a little bit of black in the wheels with the wheels on the front. And then that's carried through with the helmet and the handles, the checkering, the back wheels. So you get a little bit of black going throughout the model. I don't want to add too much red to this model, but I do want to add a little bit of red. And I'm thinking these pistons, I'm going to call them pistons. In the bottom, I'll paint those red. So you'll see a splash of red, but there's not going to be like a bunch of red. And I think that's going to help. And then, for my rust color, the way I'm going to do my rust is I've got like an orange wash, and I'll hit everything with an orange wash, and then I'll dry brush it back up with the yellow. And that will help tie in the red with the yellow, because there'll be some orange and red kind of are similar to the eye. So we'll play around with that a little bit. I do think one of the things I'm going to have to do, let me zoom in here. So down in here where you can see the tip of my paintbrush, like right there, I'm just going to like get some black paint and just kind of smear that around in there and just kind of create more of a shadow effect in there. I'm not going to paint any real detail or anything like that. I may paint like just the very top of the pants brown, but some of that, I'm just going to get some black in there and kind of shadow that. It's not going to be like people will see inside of there, but I don't think it's going to be like a big to-do if it's painted black. I think that'll work out just fine. So to paint my red, I'm actually going to start with a burnt orange as a base coat. And then I'm just going to kind of glaze, just put some thin down colors of red over that so that hopefully it doesn't create red like Christmas red. I just want to create just a red tone. I may even mute the red down by just, when I put the red on, add some gray to it. And that will mute the red so that it's not, it's just toned down a little bit. And then when I wash, obviously when I get this washed, it's going to get all yucky. So all of those are the things going on through my head as I paint this model. And next month we're doing Tanksgiving. So if you have a tank model that you want to show off, we're not doing anything, it's just what our focus is going to be on, is giving tanks to all the tanks in the world. So if you have a tank model that you'd like to paint, I've actually changed directions a little bit because I totally forgot that I own this. I have a Star Wars Legion's Army. I do play with my buddy Jason, and I play the Separatists because who wouldn't want to play a bunch of robots? And anyways, I bought this model. This is one of the newer model kits. So it's plastic and it actually goes together like a model kit. So this is what I will be doing for Tanksgiving. And on Wednesday night's show, I will start the assembly process. So if you are interested in seeing how one of those go together, I will be putting one together on Wednesday night's show because that will be the first show of the month of November, so that we can celebrate together. So has anybody got anything fun planned today? As I said, my wife and I are just going to have a hobby day. We're just hanging out at the home front. She's going to do her crafting stuff. I'm going to do some of my crafting stuff. Actually, what I'm going to be doing is I'll be out in the garage. Uh-oh, hold on. Messed up. I will be out in the garage putting away a bunch of Hot Wheels. That is part of my hobby fun today. All summer long, I've bought random Hot Wheels for Gaslands. And Joe and Kim have given me a small collection of Hot Wheels for Gaslands. So I will be spending some time this afternoon kind of sorting them out. And, what I like to do is I got these big plastic totes, and I try to keep, trucks in one, cars in others, race cars in others, future projects in others. I just kind of sort them a little bit. So that's what I will be doing as part of my hobby fun. And believe it or not, I actually do find that quite enjoyable. And I know it may sound weird to some of you. I'm actually working now. Oh, David. Well, I'm glad you could join us while you're working. Are you working from home or are you at like an office? David always seems to be hustling. He's always got something going on, which is good. You always have to have a hustle in life. All right, so we just started with some orange. Good morning, Rex. How are you, buddy? Good morning, guys. Headed out for a bike ride this morning. That is awesome. Perfect weather for a bike ride. I'm assuming bicycle, not motorcycle, but I could be wrong. You could be out on a motorcycle bike ride today. But perfect weather either way. My father-in-law lives up in Paulden, Arizona, and he rides his bicycle. But right now the weather is too cold up in Paulden. It's like low 30s. So he can ride his bicycle in the morning. He kind of waits till the afternoon time. But us down here, right now is the perfect time to be out riding a bike. Wind in your hair. Good stuff. 39-mile bicycle ride with my buddy. That is a journey. Good luck to you on that. Be safe. I know you're probably a very safe person, but please be safe because people are not paying attention on the road. So I don't know if you're going to be riding the canal or if you've got a special place you're going to ride, like you're going to travel someplace to ride, but just be safe. I'm also going to do the leather straps that hold on his little forearm piece here. I don't know what to call it. I'm just going to call it the forearm piece of armor. Ain't going to do him any good in the 41st millennium, but it makes him look cool. And that's what's important. Yeah, I need to get my bike out and probably take it out. I go to Golden Spoke over off of Thunderbird and the 59th, or I think it's 59th. The old Circle K location there. Get it tuned up. I've got a Raleigh. It's not a mountain bike and it's not a road bike. It's a hybrid. It's a middle of the road tires type situation. It's good for city riding. And it's good for like just hitting the canals or something like that. Enough off-roadness to it that you can jump a curb or two and do okay. And but I'm not taking it down the mountains. I'm crazy. I'm just not that crazy. All right. I think before I go too much further, I think it's important that I drill out the exhaust pipes at this point. I could do the black dots on them, and I think I would be okay if I did black dots. But I think I want to challenge myself slightly this morning and do a little drill work on camera, because we know how whenever we do stuff on camera, everything goes sideways for us. So why not try a little bit of on-camera drilling? So this will be the bit I'll probably use for the big one, but it's too much for the little one. But to start my holes, I'll use these. I get these from Harbor Freight. These are meant for cutting metal. They're really, really, really sharp. and they will grab a hold of the plastic and just go to town. So you need to be really careful with them. I like them because you got the little rubber and the handle part, so you can just in your fingers, if you have them all, spin them around easily, and you can drop your model on itself. That's always fun. But you can get it started, and it's just good for getting the pilot hole started, because that is probably the most important cut you're going to make when drilling holes, is your pilot hole, because that's going to give you your center point for your hole. And all I want to do is I just want to just get it started, put a little bit of pressure. So you can see how I'm off a little bit. So I don't want to get too carried away with that. And to straighten it up, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go in sideways from the hole that I started, and slowly chip away and then pull it up. Try to move it over some. Sometimes this works, sometimes it doesn't. But if I can get that pilot hole moved over, I'll be good to go. And just keep all the little cuttings off. So we got it slightly moved over. We'll see where we're at. Actually, get that off. We know how doing things live never works out for us. All right. It's ugly, but it's a hole. And now I'll just take my bigger drill bit, and I'll just slowly start cleaning up the hole that I drilled. And I don't need to go deep with this hole. All you need to do is just get it started, because it's just going to be painted. And it's a little off. If I want to fix any of that, clean up my thing, I can easily just put pressure on the side where I think it's a little thick, and just slowly drill, and that will chew away some of that plastic over on those sides. So the hardest thing on doing any drilling of barrels or any of that kind of stuff is just getting that pilot hole started. Now, this isn't perfect, and I'm not trying to say it, but you can see it's a little off. That side's a little off. So one of the other ways to fix that is you can just get your X-Acto, your knife. I don't know if I can, I'm gonna have to zoom back a little bit on this. And you can just kind of start taking your knife blade to just kind of clean it up a little bit and widen it out a little bit. It is one of the other ways of balancing out the hole a little bit better. It is hard to hold on to this model and do this, but oops. That kind of cleaned it up. To me, that's a lot better. Again, we have a hole drilled. It looks good. And then what we'll end up doing is just putting a little daub of black paint in there and one exhaust port drilled out. And that's as far as I'm going to go. I'm not going to go in any deeper. I just want to give it the visual appeal that there's an actual hole there. I don't really care about how deep it is. And then I'll clean up all the silver. To do the next one, because it's smaller, I might be able to just get away with using just one of these bits. I have different sizes. Like I have these ones, which are super, super small drill bits. These would be for like drilling like eye holes out. I don't know. These things are like, look at this thing. That is insane small drill bit. And that's going to break right off as soon as I do anything. If I'm too rough with it, that is meant for like, I don't know, jewelry, maybe drilling holes in jewelry. I don't know why I would need these, but when you go to Harbor Freight, like some of this is like, it was like $3, so I bought it. This is the set you probably just need to buy for gun barrels and stuff. And as you can see, I broke this drill bit. That one's broke clean off, so it happens. Since I'm probably going to be going, I broke the tip of this one off as well. So I'll be going back to Harbor Freight probably today to pick up those rubber gloves. So I may get another set of these. But the price is right. They're not too terribly expensive. It's kind of neat. This whole piece comes out. And they're great for drilling out gun barrels. But these things, like I said, they're fragile. They will break off. So you need to be careful. And starting your pilot hole is the key to this. So if you get your pilot, like I drifted right off of the plastic and went right off to the side. So it happens. You know what? Maybe I'll start with a smaller hole. Let me start with a smaller hole. Let's see if this one will still cut even though it's broken. I'm drifting. No, it's not going to cut. So what I'm going to have to do, because now it's drifting off to the side, is I'm going to have to sand this flat again to take away the groove that started, because what it's doing, because I drifted, is it's pulling my drill bit. So not the most exciting thing to watch on stream, and I am making a mess of the second one. It's like my life story. The first one was perfect. Second one, not so much. So let's try something here real fast. Since I'm drifting, I got to clean up this plastic. Cutting my fingers off. There we go. Piece of the plastic was just not coming off. And I'm just taking little quarter turns because these drill bits, like I said, are super sharp. And I'm just pulling it out. I am applying pressure to the side to move the hole over a little bit. This is one of those details that no one's going to see this, no one's going to care. But it's one of those things, I know I did it, and that's what's important. All right. So I got the hole done. It is not perfect. The joy of being an orc player is it doesn't have to be perfect. So now I'm going to take my X-Acto blade and I am going to kind of balance out the hole a little bit. I can't wait to get my new glasses. Voila. So that's my second hole. It was a lot smaller. And as you can see, I drifted off right here. So it looks a little smashy, but it's an orc model, so this works. So I'm happy with it. I think I did fine. So that's kind of one of my things I do for drilling out holes. So if you happen to be over by a Harbor Freight, because I've never seen any of these at like Lowe's or Home Depot. I believe they're just machinist drill bits. I think these are meant for very detailed type stuff, but they're perfect for doing some hand drilling for gun barrels and things like that. Then obviously you can always go in. It's great for making pilot holes, and then you can just go in and use your regular drill bits for everything else. But what I want to do now is get a little bit of black. Excuse me. And we're going to fill in the hole itself. And I can get a little sloppy with this. I don't need to be precise because I am literally going to paint silver over this. So one thing about the Pro Acryl, I changed all the tips out on mine because Pro Acryl comes with the Elmer's glue style tip. Comes with these, and they're fine, but I think you waste a lot of paint up in there, so I changed mine out to these. But paint has a tendency to splatter, and they don't close good, so just make sure you keep that maintained, you keep it clean. I still think the Pro Acryl paint is probably one of the better paints for the price on the market. And it's a local company. It's Jason Cruz from Monument Hobbies product. And well, I don't think he owns it. I think he's distributing. I don't know. I don't know the relationship, but I like the paint. I like the price. I like the fact they already put a little glass bead inside of it, so I don't have to. So yay, win for me. All right, so that's kind of where I'm at with this. I think from here, I'm probably going to do a little touch up on the helmet because for some reason there's a yellow spot, which is probably just from me handling the model and the paint just flaked off. That's all I got to do to touch that up. But there are some silver spots I want to continue, plus I want to put my first coat of red on the burnt orange. So what I'm going to do here is just give myself a little daub of red. I'm going to clean up my red paint because that was looking messy. I give myself a little daub of red, and I'm going to thin this down with some water. Because like I said, I don't want it to be red. So if I thin it down with a little bit of water, hopefully some of that orange will kind of show through, and it will give it a nice kind of a neutral, I don't want to say neutral, but a little different shade of red. We're all about tone and shade here. So just chipping away at this. I'm just happy I finally painted this project. Again, this is an old model from back in the day when Orcs didn't have the range of models that they have today. And if you wanted some of this cooler stuff, you had to build it. And I miss that. That's why I like Gaslands so much, is I get to build stuff. And I know it's probably not for everybody. Not everybody likes chopping into models. A lot of us just like to be spoon-fed our models, and that's a great, if that's what you're into, because you're more into the painting aspect. Because we all know about the hobby. Some people like to build, some people like to collect, some people like to fluff. There's all different types of aspects. I do like to create my own models, doing kit bashing and stuff like that. I do find it relatively enjoyable. So Raymond, nothing quite as satisfying as completing a project. Yes. Nothing more satisfying than completing a project. So you're right on task with that one, Raymond. So that's what I ended up with my red. So it's red, but it's not it's not screaming red like that. So by thinning that paint down and having a different color underneath it, which was that burnt orange, it just toned the red a little bit differently. And it just kind of works. And if I wanted to even go further, I could add gray, like a light gray, into my paint, and that would even neutralize it further. But I think I'm quite happy with it, because once I do a black wash and it gets a little grungy, a lot of that red's going to go away. So, and it should be grungy underneath because of all the mud and the muck. And I'm assuming there's mud and muck in the 40th millennium. I'm just assuming. I've seen pictures. Everything looks dirty. It is the grim, dark future, so you would think the grim, dark future is dirty. So now what we're going to do is we're going to paint the cool brake handle silver. I'm going to hit what little handlebar material there is and hit some of the dashboard components with some silver and all that. You had a 41st. Yeah, 41st. Yeah, I don't know why 40th jumped, because probably 40K. But yes, 41st millennium. We all live in the 41st millennium, 41st millennium, 41st millennium. We all live. So I'm toying around with, and there's a few of you guys watching, guys and gals. I'm toying around with maybe changing the intro to the show. I always do that. Good morning and welcome to What's New with Mike and Jeff, your Saturday morning hobby hangout, coming to you live via the interwebs. Thinking about changing that. I haven't really decided yet. Well, I was thinking about taking more of a fun little spoof on my love for Starship Troopers. And one of the things in Starship Troopers is they very military. Well, that's all Starship Troopers is, like a very military thing. When Rico goes, "Come on, you dirty apes, do you want to live forever?" That tagline. I'm toying around with the idea of starting the show out by going, "Come on, you guys, you want your models to be gray forever?
Strap on your magnifiers, load up your paintbrush, and let's attack those gray models. I don't know, toying around with it. Sounds kind of funny, kind of cheesy, but gives me something new to say. I don't know how it would work. Obviously, it's all going to be about my voice inflection. And if I really do the like drill sergeant type voice, make it a little rough, gruff, needs more it's like cowbell. Like everything needs more cowbell and Wilhelm screams. Maybe if I add the scream in at the end of like a gray model, like getting painted and screaming in agony as it gets painted. I might try it in one of the upcoming shows. We'll see. It will be a wait and see moment, but I do need to work on it a little bit, just like the thing I say now. That's rehearsed and rehearsed and rehearsed, so that it flows out of my vocal cords so flawlessly. And I would have to do the same thing with that. So we will see. We will see. All right. So I'm kind of getting to a point where the next big thing is going to be washes. And before I can do any of the washes, I need to make sure all the paint has had time to dry. So, because the washes are going to get every place on this model, unfortunately. Because that's just the way the world works. So I think I might just do the spikes. Toying, toying, toying. Sorry. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. There is that saying, Joe. Maybe I'll just do it for Thanksgiving on a couple episodes. And I don't know. We'll see. I toy around with these things. You guys got to keep in mind, I don't have a normal job. I don't sit in a cubicle. I don't talk to coworkers. I don't like Raymond. I think you would understand because you work out in the field. Sometimes it's a very lonely job and you're out there by yourself all day, and all you have is time to think, reflect on your life. I do a lot of life reflecting, and I don't know, it's just something that popped in my head one day. I'm like, I should change that. So I may not do it, but all right. So I am plagued with how I am going to paint this point where I walk in. All right. So they keep you in the closet. We are learning more about you every day, Raymond. But you are in a lab, so maybe they're keeping you in the closet to keep you safe. I don't know. Or keep the coworkers safe. Maybe that's it. All the stories we're going to come up with. Today on What's New with Mike and Jeff, why is Raymond kept in a closet? All right, so I'm not going to paint the strap silver. I'm just going to paint the brackets that hold the strap in place silver. And I'm trying to hit the goggles the best I can without getting too carried away, just so you can see the rims of them. I'm not going to paint the lenses. I still got to paint his teeth. Just a little splash of silver on that black helmet, I think, is going to work just fine. Then we got this crazy tube right here, which could be painted silver without much of without anybody really asking too many questions why that's silver. Now we know this is a light, so what I'm going to do to paint this is I will paint the light and the bracket and everything silver, and then I'll come in with blue contrast over the silver to get the lights, the glass look that I normally do with my stuff. Who is on? Joe. Joe, I don't know. I think you're just jealous of my mustache. You make a lot of comments about how much you enjoy my mustache. Or that's how I take your comments, that you enjoy my mustache. All right. So this is where we're at. This is going to be my stopping point for now, because I think a lot of the details I'm going to be adding are going to be with washes, and then just an easy target. Well, it's right there, and it's in your face all the time. I think this is a good stopping point for me. As Joe has derailed this conversation. So I'm going to do a lot of washes. There's absolutely no reason for me to wash this model on stream. You guys you all know how messy washes can be, especially when I got to do the whole model. Eggman. Keep it out of my. You guys are cracking me up. Yes, I will keep my mustache to myself. So, anyways, I'm going to do a lot of washes and stuff on this model, and there's absolutely no reason for me to do that on stream. I'm going to go ahead and switch cameras so Joe can see my mustache. Look at that, Joe. Look at that mustache, man. In your face. So, you guys are terrible sometimes. In case you didn't get the reference, is also Dr. Robinick. Got me on that one. Sorry. I don't get a lot of your guys' references. I don't remember a lot of them. Also, thinking about the show a lot as I'm doing it. Hair's still going in a ponytail, so yay. Anyways, you guys. Oh, okay. Thank you very much for joining us and hanging out and painting with me. Jeff, hopefully we're back on the show Wednesday, but there's a possibility the Wednesday show may be canceled for a couple Wednesdays. We will see. Jeff will fill us in on that one based on everything he has going on right now. But yes, there is some exciting news for Jeff moving forward. Thank you, Adam, for hanging out with me, and thank you very much for being part of our community. Guys, continue, post pictures on Discord. Like seeing what you guys are doing. It's a great way to just share and kind of keep everything categorized in one place. That way we're not on Facebook going trolling, doing all that crazy stuff on Facebook. And the new Facebook thing that's coming out, the Megaverse, is creepier than anything. I don't know what's going to happen with Facebook moving forward. Is this going to be a new Facebook? Who knows? Got my tanks ready for Thanksgiving. Sweet. Can't wait. Get some pictures posted up and we'll move forward. I don't think we're going to create a new channel just for Thanksgiving. We'll just get some, just put it in the sci-fi and just tag it Thanksgiving. I'll be starting my new one. But yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with Facebook. I don't know what this whole Megaverse thing is, and it's supposed to be really immersive and blah blah blah, and it's like, really? Whereas you can always move Facebook to YouTube Live. Yeah. To be honest with you, I am okay leaving Facebook. And we do stream this on YouTube right now on the Saturday show. It is actually streamed to YouTube under Jackal Garage. It's just one other place I put it, mainly for the Saturday show, for just having it as a category in case anybody wanted to
go back later and watch it. You could always go to Jackal Garage and watch them later, or if you can find them on Facebook. The challenge with Facebook, just the way things work and what they show and what they don't show and how much advertisement they show in between, and I'm sure the Megaverse is just going to be more advertisement or whatever they're calling it. It's almost feeling very superhero-ish, the Megaverse. So we'll see how that all works out. But I don't know what's going to happen. Who knows? They could be changing the platform completely, and maybe they want to charge people that stream on Facebook fees to generate. I don't know. Who knows what the changes are going to be? Any way you look at it, I don't trust Zuckerberg more than I can throw him. He it's the whole nother story. So but we'll see what happens. But yeah, there's always the YouTube thing. We could always recreate a YouTube channel and stream to YouTube if Facebook starts to, if this new thing doesn't work out, or if they make changes to the platform in such a way that we can't stream onto Facebook anymore. I don't know if you guys all remember what happened to YouTube back in the day, because Jeff and I used to post all our videos onto YouTube. But then there was this like weird FCC thing going around where they were changing how people were targeting videos to children, and there was all these labeling things, and like officials from the FCC got up and said, we're coming after you, like, and we were like, content creators were the ones they were pointing their fingers at, and I overreacted. Again, we weren't streaming at the time when this was all going on, and I just said, you know what, I don't want to deal with it, so we deleted that YouTube channel completely. And but that thing that panned out, and again, this was one of those overreactions from me, and it was also an overreaction from the head of the FCC. The people that were out there, they were making it very strong threats, and YouTube was like, we're not responsible. It's the content creators. And if their content doesn't meet the guidelines that the FCC had put together, they could come after us, and YouTube wasn't going to defend us. So at that point, I just deleted all my content off of YouTube. I'm like, well, this is ridiculous. I'm not making money off of this. So I don't understand why this is a thing. So we just deleted it all. But that has, believe it or not, panned out, and reality has set in, and it all worked itself out. Now everyone kind of understands, yeah, this was targeting very select individuals, and again, it was something to do with children's, and YouTube had to create a children's YouTube channel thing, and it all got worked out. But yeah, crazy, 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 crazy. So anywho, that was a long drawn out story, but maybe we will relaunch that What's New with Mike and Jeff YouTube channel and post video. We can stream to that if we have to. It wouldn't be that hard for everyone to jump over there. Most of us have a YouTube channel in some way, our YouTube account. And now with streaming, the way everything works, you can watch it live on YouTube on your cell phone just as easily as watching it on Facebook. Anyways, thank you all very much for hanging out with me. And I know I ramble a lot, and that's just the way it is. I entertain myself just as much as I entertain everybody around me. So I will talk to you guys later. Have a great weekend. And tomorrow is Halloween. So for some of you celebrating with your children, taking them out trick-or-treating, have a great time. Scare the heck out of everybody. For me, it is my wedding anniversary, so the wife and I have a anniversary dinner planned, and we are excited to be celebrating our 22nd wedding anniversary. So we made it, and we're old. Anyways, so we'll probably be to bed by 8 o'clock. But we're going out to dinner and having drinks and things like that, doing a couple stuff. Nothing exciting. We don't want to be at home listening to all our kids outside running around the neighborhood knocking on doors, because I'm sure they'll be knocking on our door and we won't be home. So I actually take the lights out and darken everything so we look like the creepy dark house on the corner that nobody wants to go to, because there's a weird dude with a mustache there. So thank you guys very much. Have a great weekend. Be safe, and we'll Wednesday. We should have a show on Wednesday, and hopefully Jeff can fill everybody in on what's going on. So talk to you guys later. Bye.